Are you in a crossroad of your life right now? Are you asking yourself those big questions like, who am I? What's my life purposes? Your life purpose actually will influence your money management as well. So join me and Dr. Olivier Becherel today to learn how to redefine the quality of your life living with purpose.
Welcome to the Money DNA channel. Money DNA is a financial fitness community where we bring everything about money and beyond money concepts in life to help you create healthy money habits and to be financially fit for good. It is important to understand that the advice is general in nature and does not take into account your personal objectives, financial needs, and overall well-being situation, and it may not be appropriate for you.
Hi everyone, it's Winnie here. Thank you for tuning into Money DNA. We'll be looking at post-pandemic, redefining the quality of your life, living with purpose. Join me today is Dr. Olivier Becherel Mastery to Success. Dr. Olivier Becherel is a personal leadership specialist, business and life coach. Olivier is a co-founder of Mastery to Success, a coaching and consulting business to help clients find a clear pathway to fulfill their purpose. Mastery to Success provides executive coaching, team coaching, and bespoke workshops and presentations for professionals and businesses. Olivia, welcome to Money DNA again.
Hi, Winnie. Thank you for having me.
No worries at all. So, what I would like to start today is we are actually recording this in December 2021. Some people call this as a post-pandemic era. Personally, I don't really have enough medical knowledge to comment about that, but I do know one thing. The pandemic itself certainly challenged and shift the way we think, the way we live, and also the way we engage with others. We have the benefit of the technology so that we can work from home and spend more time with our family. But do we really spend more time with our family or ourselves? More and more studies have shown that due to the pandemic, lots of people work longer hours, stuck in meetings after meetings, tasks after tasks. Lots of people starting to report being burned out or seeking for alternatives. So one of the things that I found last week is, according to Microsoft research early this year, they said that more than 40% of workers globally are considering changing or giving their job the sack this year. In Australia, data from people management platform Employment Hero suggests 48% of Australian workers are planning on looking for a new job in the next 12 months. So the reason I want to bring this topic up is for many people, the sole income is from their employment. And while they are questioning about where they're at, the decision will also impact on their household money management and also the investment options they have. So we're just hoping that today, Olivia, you'll be able to share your wisdom and guide people a clear pathway to their life while they are dealing with uncertainties and unknown, which is so uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I mean, definitely because of the change in the pandemic, people are really looking at their priorities in life. And just earning money doesn't become the only priority in life, but also the quality of life becomes really important.
And that's
so people are starting to ask a bigger questions, more existential questions, who I am, why I'm here, what's the point of me doing that? And ultimately they're starting to question, okay, what is my purpose?
Yeah, and I guess that's the reason why we decided to have this topic today as redefining your quality of life and also the purpose. Because without knowing our purpose, it's really hard for us to even understand about the quality of life that you are searching for. But it's also quite interesting that you mentioned about those bigger questions. It's not about what type of jobs I'm looking for, it's who am I? Or other big questions like earlier you mentioned about the purpose in life. So I guess that my question to you is, what is purpose then?
So a lot of people look for many years to try to find their purpose, and even some people go on a trip around the world in order to find their purpose. So commonly people think that finding your purpose comes from outside of you, but actually your purpose is already within you. And a very simple way to explain what purpose is that your purpose is your highest value, your highest core value. And the reason why is that your highest core value is what is most meaningful and important to you, is what fulfills you the most. And that's what your purpose is. The most important, meaningful, and fulfilling thing in your life. And so instead of trying to look for your purpose outside of or looking for something that needs to be grandiose or extraordinary, your purpose is simply a reflection of your highest value. It's you how living your purpose that is going to make it exceptional, but it's not something that is exceptional outside of you that you have to find.
I love what you said. And also while you're talking about that, actually reflecting of how many movies or how many books that we heard or how many stories I heard from others that by searching themselves, like soul searching and finding the purpose by traveling around or talking to so many people, and then after that they share their stories with others. And I guess that we have those kind of conception or perspective that this is the way and also the only way that we can find our purpose in life. And that's why it gives us the idea that in order for us to find a purpose, it is better for us to travel. It is better for us to just isolate ourselves or doing lots of meditation or doing lots of things. While what you just said is the purpose is actually in line with your highest value.
Yeah, and I guess sometimes why people feel the need to travel is because it gives themselves the space to question and explore more about who they are. So they find themselves in different situations, but it's not the travel experience that gives you your purpose. It just provides you some space for you to go on an inquiry. Meditation can do that, but it's really about reflecting on yourself and really knowing yourself deep down and how you function. That is going to give you really good and important clues about your purpose or what your purpose looks like.
That's so true. And I think that also one of the things you mentioned about giving them the time for themselves. I look back to the last couple of years when I was traveling solo. The best way for me to actually understand about myself is giving myself the permission and also the time to really understand about myself. So what I do is wherever I go, I always have a journal with me. And then while I'm waiting for a train, while I'm just waiting for a plane to go to another destination, I was trying to just sit down and write about my ideas and also thoughts within. And every time when I have that exercise, it makes things much, much clearer and also more in line with what I actually be. So I guess that my next question is, okay, we understand the purpose is actually within and is in line with your highest value. So why is it so important for us, not only for ourselves itself, and also why is it so important for us when it comes to money management?
Well, first, purpose is important is because that's what drives you in life. It's what gives you the fuel. And especially with the pandemic, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of change happening. If you don't have a clear direction in your life, you can easily become swayed by whatever is happening on the outside world and become lost in a way, or become helpless or hopeless. And so the purpose is that core direction in your life that basically restore a little bit of control about how you feel about what's going on in your life. So purpose is really important to have that direction, to follow that direction towards something that is beyond yourself, not just about yourself, but something beyond yourself. And there's a quote that I really like that says, without self-expression, life lacks meaning and joy. So it's really important for us to express ourselves. But the other aspect of that quote says, without service, life lacks meaning and purpose. So what the whole quote means is that we're here to discover who we are. And we're here to find a way to be able to express our authentic self in the way that provides a service to the community. And it's the providing of that service to the community that gives us a greater sense of existence, a greater sense of contribution, ultimately a greater sense of meaning and purpose in life. And so we have to find within us and use that, what we find, in the service of other people. And that's how we connect our self aspect and the other aspect. And holistically, that's what makes life worthwhile.
That's beautiful. I love the quote that you just shared. And I guess that if we look down to the human being, we can't really just live by ourselves. Human being require us to be compassion, to be loved, and also being connected with other people. That's why we have the whole species are all rely on the village, the connection itself. So earlier you mentioned about having the meaning and also knowing how we are going to provide a service to other people. That's exactly the reason why we're here in our well, I guess that on the planet.
Mhm, mhm. And if I connect back to the money, is once we find our purpose, which is our most effective and efficient way of providing a service that gives
True.
us meaning and fulfillment, this is also the door to get the most reward out of doing that service. And in our society, the reward is really in the money we earn from the service we do. So whether we are an employee in the company or whether we are a business owner, is the work we do, when that work is aligned with our purpose, that's when we have the greatest wealth potential, the wealth building potential. And so it becomes really important to find your purpose so you can work, derive satisfaction and meaning from your work, and at the same time earn any income from that work.
Yeah.
Because if you're just going to work because it pays the bill, it's not going to be sustainable over the long term, because at some point you're going to get bored. You're going to get disengaged with your work, and it's going to feel a lot of resistance for you to go back to work. And usually that translates into signs and symptoms and potentially illness.
Yeah, that actually reminds me of another recording I have with Marcia that talking about the fair exchange. And if if the service that we have, the give and the receiving is not aligned or is not balanced, this fair exchange is not going to be on the right scale, and that creates the guilt and the shame, or it's going to create the resentment and also entitlement. So it's quite interesting that it just reflect on what we discussed in another episode. And if you are interested in that episode, you can also look at the video there. But I do find that even personally, when I'm looking at the businesses and also the jobs that I did in the last many years, there are times that I was just earning money or doing business for the sake of doing business. I didn't really have the purpose. I didn't really feel like I need to come up with those bigger questions. And those some myth of, you can just earn big dollars while you're asleep, which is something that we are going to see every single day on our social media. Those are going to be quite a bit attractive for a lot of people. But at the same time, if it's not going to be aligned with your bigger value and our value, you are going to see yourself, whether you have lots of income coming in, you're still going to find a way to spend it, because we all know that earning income is not going to be the biggest thing. It's actually how you're going to manage the money itself. Also, another thing is, of course, if you don't really work with the things that you have the higher purpose and the higher value, you tend to come to the stage that you just feel like you don't really need that, or you're starting to question about yourself. So I guess that one of the things that you also said is, when it comes to the time when we are going through the changes in life, having the purpose is also very important for us to have that compass in life. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely, because life is dynamic. So we're always going to go through different phases and different changes in life. And the most common one is changes in jobs or changes in occupation. However, if we don't see that there is a core thread going through our life, we're going to think that we're just doing things randomly.
Yeah.
Just because, I had this opportunity, so I did that. But actually, all the different jobs we go through life, there is always a common thread. And that common thread is the purpose. And so it's important for us to self-reflect and examine our life journey to be able to uncover that common thread, because that is what is consistent about ourselves and about our life. No matter how it looks different on the outside, no matter what different type of jobs we're going to perform, our purpose is always going to reflect our core competencies. What is, solid about us? What is the unique gift, the unique talent that we have to provide? And so that's why it's really important to understand what is your purpose, what is your highest value. So you can navigate your life and navigate all the changes with knowing that there is some consistency to you. You're not just acting randomly.
Yeah, and I guess that especially when it comes to tough times, which we all will experience at some time in life, is if you're going to be able to have the purpose, it actually help you to build the resilience and help you to deal with those difficult times or even the relapse. My next question is, because we are talking about the purpose in line with the core value, do we only have one value in life, and is purpose changeable?
So we have a series of core values, but we have only one that is the highest values. And from my own experience, that rarely changes. It stays very consistent. And because your purpose is an expression of your highest value, your purpose is consistent. However, the form you're going to express that purpose can changes. For example, just to give you a simple example for my own case. So my purpose hasn't changed. My purpose has been to explore and understand life, the meaning of life, and tap into life's potential. So I started my career in medical research. And so for me, understanding life and understanding the potential of life was purely revolving around the biological and the physiological aspect, purely the physical aspect of life. When I quit my medical research career and the academia and moved into starting my own business and doing coaching and consulting, it's still about the same purpose. It's still about understanding life. It's still about maximizing life's potential. But now I do it in a more holistic way because I integrate the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, and the physical aspect. So my purpose hasn't changed. The way I express my purpose has changed. Now it has become a lot more complex, but also a lot more holistic with a much bigger perspective. So I'm still on the same quest. This is my quest of purpose. It hasn't changed. However, the way I do it day to day has changed compared to when I was doing medical research. Yeah. And so the same thing will happen for people. They will have a constant purpose, a constant quest, if you wish, but they might express it at different stages in their life in a different way. But when you start to connect all the dots, it's all the same thing. It's all for the same bigger purpose.
I love that. And thank you so much for sharing your own experience. I think that a lot of people are trying to ask about, I love the way that I'm dealing with certain things. That's when they are looking at their job. And we can actually share our passion and our purpose in so many different ways. A lot of times people come to the stage that when they are dealing with change, whether it's going to be a foreseen change or unforeseen change, they feel like they have to come to the conclusion as an either or. So if I give up on that, then I can do this. But what you are saying here is, of course, purpose are going to align with the highest value, which is just the one. You can change the form or the shape of that in life, and it's not a problem at all.
No, it's not a problem at all. It just creates more and more versatility in how you can fulfill your purpose. So the key really in life is, once you find your purpose, is develop the flexibility of behavior to give yourself permission to fulfill your purpose in so many different ways. There's not one way to fulfill your purpose, but your life is going to guide you gradually to refine in order to find the most effective and efficient way for you to fulfill your purpose. So for example, when I was doing medical research, it wasn't the most efficient and effective way for me to fulfill my purpose because there was area missing. The mind aspect was missing, the emotion aspect was missing, the spiritual aspect was missing. It was purely around the physical aspect. Now in what I'm doing with coaching and consulting, I brought all these different aspects into understanding life, the meaning of life, and maximizing life's potential. So now my expression of my purpose is a lot more, let's say, holistic.
Yeah.
It's a lot more comprehensive compared to what I was before, but it hasn't changed. It just become more and more refined, so it becomes more and more effective for me to fulfill my mission.
And I think that you use quite a beautiful words, holistic way to look at things and also redefine and refine things. Again, I think that one of the things we constantly happen in our conversation is there's no either or. It is we can have it all. Same thing as when we are having all as our material life and also spiritual alignment, that could be as a combination of the joy and the abundance that we have in life. Same thing as when we are reaching to our fullest potential, which is living our purpose. And with our purpose, it actually is going to be creating as a holistic way by practicing it and also by asking yourself those questions and also doing all the exercise along the way that will help you to really understand about yourself. Now, I know that every time you are going to ask or come up with a killer questions so that people are going to be able to find their own purpose or the value. So what is the killer questions today that you can share with our audience?
I have two questions for you.
Okay.
The first one you can ask yourself is, what is my purpose for me being on this planet?
Ooh.
So that's the big question, but it prompts you to start to reflect about your life journey and what you've been doing. And the way you can approach the question is to look at, okay, what you've been doing throughout your life, what has been successful, what people have said that you made the greatest impact in their life, because that becomes your contribution. Remember, your purpose is part of your contribution, contribution to yourself, but also contribution to others. So the first question is, what is the purpose for me to be here on this planet?
That's huge.
And start to explore that and look at what actually the evidence in your life. It's about connecting the dots. The second question is, if I didn't have to work for money at all, what would I love to do with my life to be of service for other people? What would be the service I would love to do for others if I didn't have to work for money? Because very often people limit themselves because they think small, because they think, oh, I need to be able to make some money out of that. And so they start by the perspective of, I need to make money, therefore it creates restriction. I can't really do what I love. I can't really do what I'm good at because I can't make money out of that. No. It's the wrong order of asking the question is, what do I love to do with my life and be of service to others? Once you start to really find answers to that question, the money will come. Because as we mentioned before, the fair exchange, if you provide a service, the fair exchange will be the reward, which is the money aspect of it. So, but people get the question wrong and they focus on the money first and they get stuck there.
Yeah, also redefine what you just said with the quote is, without the servicing, life doesn't have the meaning and the purpose. So I think that having those questions is, if I didn't, what's the purpose of being here on this planet? And also, if you didn't need to work for money, what would I like to do in life? Those are key questions that Olivia would like to share with you today. So if I'm going to wrap up with today, which is really, really lovely, I can continue talking to Olivia day to day because it is the passion that we share together. And a lot of times when we're come across with a customer situation or some of the quests that we have, it's always nice to have another person as a like-minded person to bounce back some ideas. So first of all, thank you so much for your sharing today, Olivia. And if I would like to sum up with the subject, I think the very most important thing is we all come to the time that we need to make some decisions. We all have those difficult times. But when we are going to get into that, one of the things that you can do is actually sit back or take one step back and then start to think about yourself, take a breath, and then think about those big questions. You may not right away come up with the right questions or right answer, but that's okay. You got a lifetime to really learn about yourself. So take the time day by day. You don't really need to make a decision to quit your job now. You don't really need to also come up with a monumental idea to really serve the whole planet. But what you can do is finding the purpose of your life. So what will be your key takeaway today then?
Your purpose is within you, and it's just your responsibility to discover it. It's not going to come from the outside. It's going to come from exactly what you said, Winnie. taking the time to explore your life and reflect on your life journey, because your purpose, the evidence of your purpose, is within your journey. So look at your life, reflect on your life, examine it, and find what is the common thread, because that is your path of purpose.
Wonderful. Thank you, Olivia. So next time, what we're going to discuss is a very interesting subject, which is flow. Sometimes you are going to find that when you are going to go with the flow, as what we said, things are going to be much easier and efficient. Sometimes if you are not going to go with the flow, against the flow, you are going to find a lot of challenge. So what Olivia and I are going to discuss is how are we going to utilize this energy, this flow efficiently to our life. So if you like what we share and think someone may benefit from the content, please like, share, and subscribe our channel. And if you'd like to book a complimentary consultation about your money DNA, or you would like to talk about your personal development with Olivia, the link and the contact detail will be captured down below. Also, if you have any questions or feedback, or want to hear Olivia's sharing on certain important topics in life, please also feel free to leave your comment below and we'll come back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for joining us today, and please keep financial fit and healthy, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.